Howdy, girls and boys. Welcome to BullyZone podcast, where dudes review independent pro wrestling. Dudes review independent pro wrestling drip. We're
I like
dripping.
that.
I'm Austin Largo.
And it's your boy Lance Winners, baby. How you guys doing? This is BullyZone Live, Season 2, Episode 6, and we're getting down to business, man. How's your week been?
Week has been, I've just been burned all week. So, if I'm not burned, like after work, I go home, I get burned. You know what I'm talking about.
I like that. Okay.
And it's okay if you don't burn. It's no big deal. But you probably won't want to come by our kickbacks at the BullyZone headquarters. But if you do burn, hit me up.
Come on down and hit this burner, baby.
Well, we'll get my contact info in the description below. But Lance, how you been? How you been, dog? I see you got doubling up on
I'm
some
doubling
energy.
up today, baby. I'm
Double
doubling
fist,
up.
double cup.
I need to get double energy today because I'm super excited to have this guest on the show. But yeah, Episode 6, baby. My week has been super pumped, feeling great, amazing, positive energy, vibes, blah, blah, blah. Fans throw those likes up. Now that I got the mark satisfied, let's get into it. We got a little bit of news going on. Start off with some news and drama going on in the wrestling scene.
Yes, wrestling, crazy world. I get so much information in a single day. It's hard to cut down what we want to talk about on this week's episode of the podcast. But, I got some interesting topics, so feel free to discuss in the comments below. First off, I want to start off, I'm a big film buff, cinephile, different kind of file. But Chris Hemsworth scheduled to play Hulk Hogan in an upcoming movie, I guess. So it seems like this could be a new thing, wrestling autobiography. Of course, we just had Fighting with My Family, which I did see. We'll get into that a little bit later. But, Chris Hemsworth, we all know him as Thor, mostly. How you feel about Thor playing Hulk?
Well, it's in the last couple of Marvel movies, I've already seen Thor lose his hair, so it's a gradual progression that he's going to keep losing hair. As he loses hair, he's obviously gaining powers. The last movie's got the power of lightning and thunder. Maybe in the next movie, he's going to have the power of Hulkamania running through him. He's going to get a bald spot through the top, defeat Thanos, and that's going to segue into the Hulk movie for all I know. It's going to be fun. It's going to be weird. It's going to be a good little exciting sea of how Hemsworth will be able to play the Hulkster, you know what I mean? But
definitely.
I'm excited for it. Like you said, this could be a new era in where autobiographies based on wrestlers could take place. You said you watched a new movie. How'd you feel about that?
Yes. This week, Fighting with My Family, the story based on Paige and her story of coming to prominence in the WWE. It was all right, to be honest. It wasn't bad at all. It just wasn't. It was like a feel good, come from beneath story, underdog story. It's a fish out of water, Paige coming from, England to NXT and her rise in the company that she had watched growing up. That's something they play into a lot in the movie. Their dreams that they've had. It has them with the cardboard titles they make. That we've all made. They really try to play that the brother, because they both tried out at the same time in the movie, and Paige gets picked, to join the Fed, and the brother who really wanted it didn't. So, I was hoping for more backstage stuff, see the inner workings of WWE.
So it was more Hollywood than we thought.
It was more Hollywood. There was just so many moments presented where it could have had more, behind the curtain kind of stuff. They could have showed, the road agent telling her she was going to win against AJ Lee. Because that's, spoiler alert, if you don't know Paige already, she's a former Diva champion. It shows her winning the first time. So I would like to see stuff, them discussing the matches with her, opponents for the night and stuff like that. Just stuff to, give people an inside look. I think something that really does that pretty good is The Wrestler, starting to Make You Work, 2008.
Yes.
That gives a really good look on
the behind the scenes of the wrestling.
Behind the scenes of independent wrestling, which we know pretty well. So that's why I like that a lot. I was hoping we get a better look at the way WWE is running the show. But I'll give it a thumbs up. I just wish I can give it 2 thumbs up. With Chris Hemsworth playing Hulk Hogan, one has to assume there's going to be other, you know, legendary wrestlers popping up. So give me a guy from that. Well, Hulk Hogan, if it depends on when they play it up from.
He has a nice
first
long
one.
span.
He has
yeah.
a nice long span. Which wrestlers and who would you like to play, and would you like to see pop up in, you know, this film? Would you like to see an older guy, you know, maybe a guy you know, just played by an actor?
Well, you know, a lot of people are going to want to obviously see him go against Andre the Giant as one of his big highlight matches. Me personally, I like the movie to extend his full career, at least in the later end, where he had that iconic match with Shawn Michaels at SummerSlam. I'm not familiar with that one. But, yeah, honestly, I'd like to see either one of those matches portrayed. But like you said, those are two different Hulksters right there, you know, two different points of time. And who knows if this movie's going to be an hour and a half or 3 hours long, you know. So that's what I think of. You have any matches, classic Hulkster matches you'd want to have on there?
Like you said, probably WrestleMania 3, Hogan versus Andre. I'd like to see. John C. Reilly, I think, could be to pull off Andre the Giant. You know, Step Brothers and the Holmes and Watson movie that everyone hated that just came out. He's a great actor. I think he can pull off Andre the Giant. They both kind of got, you know, that weird face. He can pull off the.
I was gonna say they got the hair,
face.
but yeah, the weird face definitely got that nailed down for sure.
But you know, let us know who you want to see. You know, either a whole movie about them or just pop up in this Hulk Hogan era movie. Let us know.
What's going on, guys? Just want to give a quick shout out to everybody watching here. If you're on Facebook, you may notice that you're a little lonely and by yourself. That's because everybody has switched over to YouTube. That's right, guys. Come on over to the same YouTube channel. That's free admission. We're having the time of our lives right now, just getting down, talk to the fans, switching fan bases a little bit, and getting to meet some new faces. But talking about faces and heels and all the good things in between, we got a little birthday shout out I want to give out today. Ric Flair, baby. Woo! Your boy Ric Flair gets another year older. He's fighting that heart, staying strong in the game. All up in that mountain, giving the girls those free rides all the way to the top, baby. Also got Maria Kanellis celebrating her birthday as well. They've just been recently released or on the way to being released from WWE at this moment. And who knows if they're going into the indie game or if they're getting married and retiring.
It's funny you bring up, you know, being released, because as of now, Ty Dillinger has been released from his contract.
News.
And to go with that, Ty Dillinger, the Perfect 10 release, TJP has been fired from the company. You know, the first new Cruiserweight champion, won the first ever Cruiserweight Classic. TJP fired. How do you feel about, you know, Dillinger's release and TJP firing?
It's crazy that there's always a shuffling among the cards, you know what I mean? You can't stay in the game too long. You can't stay a mid-carder. Stay where you've been at. You know, some people have been at the top, and they go down, they stay down, and it's time to get out. And other times they're forcefully ejected. In this situation, you got one of each, and I think it's just, you know, it could be a sad thing to see them leave WWE, but it could also be a great thing to see the future that they could have, and possibly in the indie leagues, you know?
Yeah, I got my eyes on a lot of great things right now. I think it's going to be a real benefit to their careers. You know, the WWE roster is already too full as it is. It's just going to give them time to work on their own characters, work on their own skills, working, you know, improving the ring, because I actually get some ring time, decent ring time. As for TJP, you know, there's no reason behind his release stated right now.
Oh, there's always a reason.
There is a reason. We just got to search. But as of now, it just says TJP has been released. They didn't give him good luck on future endeavors. He did not get that.
Oh, that's...
So typically that means, you know, there was some bad blood. So, you know,
something...
what do you think might have happened? You know, TJP, he's been kind of cocky, you know, from what we've seen on TV. You know, kind of giving off a, you know, too cool for school kind of swagger.
That's what happens when you're too big for your britches, you know what I mean? You like to think that you're the hot fish in a little tank, and then you got to realize that that tank be switching out real quick, and you could be a mainstay one day, and you can get that pink slip the next, you know? So it's all ridiculous, man. It's crazy to see people getting cut off so quickly. But in other news, Well, like I said, what wishes? You never know what his future could lie ahead of him. He could have something great coming forward. Like I said, we will find out what happened. It's just a matter of checking the dirt sheets.
So with these two men gone from the roster, it only makes sense to fill that void, and that led to the debut of, about the with the Fantastic Four of NXT right now. I like to say Aleister Black, Ricochet, Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, all made their main roster debuts this week across Raw and SmackDown Live. What did you think of these debuts?
Honestly, I thought it was amazing. I thought it was pretty cool. It was unexpected, and they definitely hit the mark when they, what do you say, pop with that explosive energy. When Ricochet came down, everyone was just bawling their eyes out. They couldn't believe it. Aleister Black as well. So it was cool to see some people make the move, because that's something they don't really show that often as NXT coming on up to WWE. They kind of don't highlight it as they did.
Take your mic and move it just a little bit so you turn. No, just turn towards your face. A little bit more.
Sorry, some production issues right now.
Yeah.
All right, everything's good now.
Learning the mics 101, baby. Making sure you guys could all hear my glowing, beautiful voice.
But I'm really excited for what we have planned and in store for, these four men. Gargano and Ciampa, they already have made a huge impact beating, Raw Tag Team Champions in the Revival, and next night beating the Bar, in tag team action. That's really, there's nothing bigger than making a big upset like that in 2 nights in a row from, your NXT North American champion, NXT heavyweight champion. There's a lot of good stuff to see in these men. I am a huge fan of Aleister Black, so hopefully he gets the proper push he deserves. No corny stuff. Don't put him in any conga lines or give him any groupies. They already kind of messed with him. Michael Cole. Excuse me. I was calling him Moody, I guess, on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
He's not moody. He's brooding, I like to say. He's dark. He's inked. I'm an inked boy too. So, me and
I
Alistair
get the swagger, the anger, the
we're both strikers first. It's just a natural fit. Me and Aleister Black. So I'd like to see, that pairing in the future.
Good.
Me and Black. Swaggy Black.
Swaggy Black.
I bring
There
the
you
swag.
have it, ladies and gentlemen. Bada boom. Thank you for everybody tuned into YouTube. That's right. If you guys are on YouTube right now, there's a little surprise in the comment sections. I'm not saying anything. But if you guys go on YouTube and you go in the comment section, there's a little surprise for you guys. Like I said, all week we've been pushing, going live. We're going over to YouTube, ladies, making the switch, getting some likes and getting some love. So thanks again for tuning in. And everybody on Facebook, that's why you're a little lonely right there. Make the switch.
Yeah, let's get some money. So, everyone watching on YouTube, you tell 2 people, have them tell 2 people, have them tell 2 people, have one person tell 3 people. The rest can go back to you. And pretty soon we'll have enough to, go home with something in our pockets. Bring the bacon home.
And with that, we'll have some brand new effects coming in. It'll be amazing, guys. Make sure you tune in. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about that. Tune in. You never know what kind of secrets we have in store. You never know what kind of surprise may hide inside. I can't even read this paper. Can't even see it right here to the screen. That's how top secret this is, all right? Look at that. Bada boom, bada bing. Yellow is not on the screen. Moving forward, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Special guest in the building now. He's one of the founders and owners of Gold Coast Federation. Maximum Carnage, their next show, March 3rd. $10 online, $15 at the door. Right here at De La O Jiu-Jitsu Training Center. Please help us welcome our guest, RJ Wallace. We got the man right
Where's
here.
the soundboard?
How's it going, fellas?
Fellas.
I like this game. Is that an MF Doom chain?
This guy,
First
he
one
knows
to
the
get it.
classics. He knows, he knows the legends.
Dude, hey,
Big ups for that.
Look, I know my hip hop.
Lance, get that going for him. And you should be good to go. Everything good, Rob? We got the good 1, 2, 3 action.
Test
Everything
one,
good?
test two.
We good? We chilling?
All right,
Sick.
perfect.
Yeah, man. I mean, I dig the MF Doom chain, man.
Yeah, I've been rocking. I got the MF Doom chain, the hats, the actual mask at home. So
Okay, hey, I respect it. I can always respect a wrestling head and a hip hop head, man.
yeah, so
But some dude outside told me to put this flyer up when I walked in.
Okay.
There's some guy, some
Hey, it
random
looks
guy.
like
So-
a 3PW
yeah,
flyer.
like 3PW. They got a show March 16th coming up. Their first show out here a couple weeks ago. Real good show. But yeah, so guys might want to watch out for.
right out. Yeah, keep an eye out for 3PW Honor and Glory. But before we jump into any wrestling, I wanted to go back, and this is something I ask all my guests. Your first time watching wrestling, seeing wrestling. Your first memory of wrestling. What is it?
First memory of wrestling. Let's see. 1997. So I was 4 years old. Barely legal. Growing up in the East Coast, so ECW was real accessible, but it wasn't till like 2 a.m. So like,
Yeah. So you're staying up, past your bedtime.
yeah, and 4-year-olds shouldn't be up by that time, but my
They shouldn't be up
uncles-
at that time, let alone watching barely legal pay-per-views.
Yeah, but
ECW.
my uncles loved ECW, so they always had it on tape. So I ended up watching it and kind of fell in love with it there. I didn't know what was going on, but I just knew Terry Funk jumping off a ladder looked pretty cool. But yeah, after that, I'd watched that one time and kind of just like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
but didn't really get into it until probably later on that year with the whole DX thing and WCW. I was actually a bigger fan of WCW as a kid, but didn't really appreciate WWE until I got older and
Yeah.
WCW started to suck. So
Yeah.
that's when I kind of got into wrestling and fell in love with it and the characters and how just out there it was.
Definitely, especially in that time, the Attitude Era. It's so much over the top than it is now. So, is that something you would like to see in wrestling today? More Attitude style, hardcore, bigger, grander characters.
Yeah, I think everybody can get behind a great character, but it has to be believable, you believed in Stone Cold and The Rock, you believed Undertaker was this force, I used to be scared, the death of Kane, because, I just thought, who wouldn't be, but I think nowadays when wrestlers kind of, put a lot more of themselves into it, it
Yeah.
could work, but when you overdo it or you go the wrong way about it, it could definitely not be good for anybody, So
Yeah, definitely. I get where you're coming from. I still have some news if you'd like to join us. Discussing current topics going on right now. As a wrestling
In
fan,
the
I'm sure
world, yes.
you'll be able to keep right up with us.
Oh yeah.
So we just got finished talking about what was it? The release of Ty Dillinger and TJP, and then the NXT guys making their debut. What do you think of guys getting released and then they just fill that spot up right away? Guys from NXT.
I mean, the whole WWE spring cleaning thing, it sucks for most guys, but, there's a lot of opportunities out there now, obviously, for these guys. I wasn't really a huge fan of Ty Dillinger, but, he's got talent. He can do something, on the indie circuit or wherever he goes. So, good for him. TJP kind of came by surprise,
Yeah.
But then again, once you've been off TV for a certain amount of time, and get thrown by the wayside, why are you there?
Yeah.
I guess so. I guess that was one of those things. A lot of those releases, Arn Anderson getting released, that was
that's
kind of out of nowhere.
It seems like they're clearing out not only the talent in the ring but also backstage.
Mhm.
Officials. So with that said, the firing of Arn Anderson, Bruce Pritchard had just been rehired.
That's
Former creative writer, now with Something to Wrestle podcast. What do you think of that? Because he was around, like you said, during the time that you started watching.
Mm-hmm. I guess we all kind of figured he was gonna come back in some sort of capacity once WWE started putting his
Once they had
podcast
show
on the network.
On the network.
And you kind of had a feeling, and once he started to talk more about WWE, at first he never really did. He would talk about it occasionally, but then he started talking about it more and kind of getting into it, and was why are you so invested in the product again? So
Yeah.
I mean, I guess people kind of had a feeling it was going to happen, but it was kind of weird in the fashion it did. It was right after Arn got fired, and then bam, Bruce is back. So it's weird, but I mean, good for Bruce. I mean, he wasn't terrible at his job, but
I think this is going to be really good for WWE. I think he's able. He's been on the outside for long enough to get a very good perspective on what like hardcore fans want. He'll be able to go in and see the locker room and see who he can work with, who he's got the perfect idea for. So I think this is going to be really good for WWE.
yeah.
Lance, what do you think? Bruce Pritchard, being new head of. I don't know about new head of creative, but I'm sure he's going to have a pretty
Moving
good.
on up.
He's going to have a good, position in creative and writing.
It's always good to switch things up. You know what I mean? Like, even if he has been there before you, or if it's his first time there. I haven't personally been happy with the product in the last couple of years, so it'd be nice to see something switch up and change. And even if it's for the worst, at least something's changed. You know what I mean? We can move a direction which way. But the stagnicity of the last couple of years, like I've been saying on the podcast, you guys know how hard it is for me to watch the programs every week and give you guys a review. So maybe with this little change up in writing, who knows? You know what I mean? But I say just give it a chance. It's better than sticking to the same script.
This is true. You
That's
gotta
all I
love
got.
change.
Yeah. Speaking of change, it's been announced Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan at Fastlane for the WWE Championship. This is a big change. Kofi, who's been the perennial tag team, he's always a part of the tag team. He never gets a chance to fly solo. He's still part of a tag team, but this is the biggest, probably one of the biggest opportunities Kofi has had. Would you like to see more, more tag team individuals of a tag team getting bigger shots, solo shots, or would you just like to see, WWE listen to the fans? Because this happened, happened pretty quickly. He was in that gauntlet match, had a fantastic showing, even better showing at the Chamber, and now they're just really giving a great push.
I mean, I'm glad they're keeping the push going, because they could have easily just been like, oh yeah, Kofi got his moment, but we're gonna move on to the next guy. And I think, at least on the SmackDown side of things, you can definitely tell, like, which brand or, like, side cares more about what the fans think. Because, I mean, you have, like, Kofi, who is more than deserving of a title shot at this point in his career, in the main event picture. And, even with the tag team division there, I mean, a lot of guys are getting their opportunity. But, I mean, the Usos, they've gotten a lot better than they were a couple years ago.
Absolutely. They've been probably one of my favorite teams in all of wrestling to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime they're on the card, especially pay-per-view, it's probably, if not,
That's worth the
match
price
of
of
the
the ticket alone.
exactly.
Yeah, the Usos are really entertaining now, and they've stepped it up a lot character-wise, man. Like, it's crazy to see how far they've come from, being Rikishi's sons and kind of living off of that, and the face paint, the way that just they're able to change it themselves and kind of put their own little spin on it. And,
Definitely. Yeah.
Jimmy going to jail. I mean,
Yeah.
it works out. It's good stuff. But I mean, I think SmackDown overall as a brand, kind of knows and like has their finger on the pulse of what the fans want, so they're starting to gravitate towards it, and it's pretty refreshing, even with Miz and Shane, being tag champs. Yeah, it's a random pairing kind of, but
Yeah, I love what you're saying. I love that they have the random pairing of, Miz and Shane O'Mac. That's something we hardly see anymore, just two guys teaming up. It seems like in the Attitude Era, it was always like that. Mick Foley was always teaming up with, Rock and Stone Cold and Undertaker. They're not a team. They're just two guys who know they can win.
And I think the unlikely pairings are what's more fun too. I mean, growing up, my favorite, was like when Triple H and Stone Cold became a tag team and they took over everything.
Like another one that comes to mind is like X-Pac and Kane. That's such a
pairing,
random pairing.
especially because they had a feud going on and then they became partners. Or even Sheamus and Cesaro is recent.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Like two totally different dudes, like hated each other, but then they became a great tag team. I think once you can get that, when you're totally opposite in like styles and like how you do things, it can come together real good. And I think certain guys are able to show that in the ring when they're two polar opposites. So I think that's what works out better. But when you have like brothers essentially as tag teams too, and like they're just like perfect.
Yeah.
Then that's always great too. So I think the SmackDown tag division has a real good mix of like great tag teams.
Yeah.
So I think they'll be fine.
Awesome. Lance, do we got any questions coming from the chat?
No,
or just
we
anything,
don't, but we got a couple people
funny
tuning
people?
in. We got Paul, the homies, tuning in. We got Joey the Bull tuning in. We got Mac Russell tuning in. Shout out to everybody here live on the YouTube feed. Like I said, if you guys are on YouTube right now, if you check the comments below, there's a surprise for anybody tuning in. So make sure you guys tune in by the end of the podcast to get the little present. And that's all we got going right now. Just a couple trash talking from Joey the Bull. Call me funny. But we all know he doesn't mean it because he's not a sincere guy.
RJ, you a big fan of Joey the Bull?
I've met him a couple times. He's pretty cool. I mean, he's, I've
You can
seen
lose
him.
a few pounds, right?
Hey, listen.
It's okay. You can say it.
I mean, he looks good for his size, man. I mean, everybody can, lose a couple pounds, but not Lance.
Lance probably needs to gain a few pounds. TBH.
Convert. Just do some conversion. You know what I mean?
Get on the Joy the Bull meal plan, man.
I need to.
He'll be
Just
there.
eat what he eats. Eat like a bull, Get big.
Set up camp, yeah. Set up camp
There
at
you go.
the Throw.
It's okay. He ain't nowhere near around to do anything about it.
That's fair.
Right on. I have one last bit. Before we jump into Maximum Carnage, I want to hear all about it.
Oh, yeah.
It's been scheduled for Roman Reigns to appear not only on Raw, but Good Morning America. That's primetime cable.
Yeah.
Good Morning America. That's the basic cable channel. So that's where you want to
That's where
be.
you see John Cena at. What's Roman doing there?
This is
Yeah,
true.
so as we all know, he's been diagnosed, or leukemia has come back. He's been battling for 11 years. Do you think there's going to be a good update, or is he going to come out, do a Daniel Bryan and retire?
Yeah, there's been a lot of speculation of either or. Like, he's definitely not ready to get back in the ring. So, like, people who are, like, all over social media is like, oh, my God, really? Like,
Well, yeah, Shield
he's
reunion or something.
Shield reunion, what, he's going to help Seth beat No, like.
He's going to help keep Dean around and
Yeah,
anything
yeah,
like that.
it's not going to make Dean want to stay. No, like, I think, like, they just want to have Roman back just, to let everybody know how he's doing, which is good because he is a human being at the end of the day. Like whether you love him or hate him, or hate him as a wrestler, like he's still a living, breathing soul. So it'll be good to hear from him. I wonder what it is too. Just the news of like him being on Raw and then Good Morning America after it's kind of interesting because it's like, well, dang, is he gonna retire? But I know like. He's in that movie with The Rock, the Hobbs movie.
The Hobbs and Shaw
Yeah.
movie, something like that.
So he could be promoting that. But
Now,
who
I've never
really
seen
knows?
a single Fast and Furious movie.
Really?
TBH.
You've gone that long and not seen not one?
Not one.
That's
But if I am going to see one, it's going to be Tokyo Drift.
That's okay.
Shout
That's
out-
one to start with. That's a
Shout out
good
my
one to
brothers in
start
Tokyo.
That's a good one to start with. I would say start with Too Fast, Too Furious, but that's just me.
Too Fast, Too Furious.
Yeah.
Cut it out. But, in other news, we have DX announced for the Hall of Fame.
As a group.
As a group. So we got China finally in the Hall of Fame, long overdue. And it's officially been 5 years of WWE Network. You subscribe?
Oh yeah, I've had a couple different accounts, but yeah.
Yeah, give them their $9.99. Either way.
I try to throw some money their way, from time to time.
You got to help him out,
Yeah, it's cool.
But enough of WWE and everyone else. Let's talk about Gold Coast Federation. Follow the Fed and their next show, Maximum Carnage.
Maximum Carnage, man. Next Sunday in this building, we're gonna be downstairs. Should be a good show, real packed card. Everybody's kind of buzzing about it, man.
And
It's
tell us
gonna be
a
big
few
thing.
matches you're looking for on this card. What's going to be getting the people off their seats and on their feet.
I guess like when you look at the card, everybody's anticipating, the main event, Danny Limelight versus Andy Brown, GCF SoCal title, and I'm excited for that match too.
Absolutely.
Me and Danny got a little bit of bad blood going on.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you
going
that.
back to cage match. So when we cross paths, it's gonna be something.
Yeah, while we have that topic on the table, what happened? For those of you who don't know, Danny Limelight versus Amazing Junior, they had the Gold Coast Federation SoCal title on the line in a cage match. Champion Danny Limelight retained, and you being the cordial guy you are, you went into the cage, celebrate with him, to celebrate your champion of your company. And what does he do? He goes up and super kicks you.
Yeah,
lays you,
kicked you right in the face,
laying flat right there in the cage. So, what are the repercussions of that? Why that transpired in the first place? What was on Danny's mind?
I think it just goes back to I think Limelight knows his days are numbered as champion, man. All these challengers are coming from everywhere in SoCal, and they're gunning for him, man. It's that title. Well, him in general, it's he's on the radar now, and that title's starting to become a focal point of what people are after, and
yeah, it's very prestigious. It looks nice.
It's a beautiful belt. It's a beautiful belt.
It's a beautiful belt on a beautiful man. That's what I like to say. There's no other better first champion to have than Danny Limelight. Have him in the record books.
I'll agree with that. He's not a bad looking guy. But he's got ill intentions, man. He's aligned himself with Joseph Saint. So I mean, he's all about the money.
Yeah, what's your relationship with Joseph Saint?
Strictly business, man. He's overseeing a lot of things, I guess you would like to say, in GCF, making sure his investments are in line with what he wants, which is
not the same.
Not the same. That's not where we want to go with GCF. But I mean, he's there. He's going to be around until we can find a way to get him and the investors out of there. And but until then, we all got to deal with him and his antics and Geo Amazing and his goons, if you want to call them.
Sounds lovely. I'm sure you're just having the time of your life when you go to work, huh?
It's just another day at the office. But I mean, I think Andy Brown would be this guy to dethrone Danny Limelight and kind of silence Joseph Saint.
I think Andy Brown is a very good, representative to try to get the title out of the hands of Danny Limelight.
Real great wrestler. It should be a real great match. I mean, I'm almost certain a lot of people have their money on Limelight, but I for sure have my money on Andy Brown on this one.
Another match I saw on the card was Richie Slade versus Matt Vandergriff.
Oh man, that's gonna be.
Now I remember running into you at Destination 6. Was it the night when that was the match, the main event for the title?
Yeah, I think that was the main event for the title over there. Yeah.
Now I like that. I like that you want to get a rematch for them. Richie Slade, for everyone who doesn't know, was able to win that match and become Destination 6 champion.
Still reigning.
Yep. Richie Slade's real good in the ring, man. I've been watching him for a while. He's very proven out here. And Matt Vandergriff is the future, man. He's on the come up. I feel like Matt Vandergriff is still pretty unproven, though. Like, a lot of people still sleep on Matt Vandergriff. So
yeah, definitely not getting as much eyes on him as he should.
Yeah, and I mean, last time he was on a GCF show, he tore the house down, man. Almost beat Danny Limelight.
Yeah, he challenged him for
the SoCal title
at the first show, right?
Yeah. So I mean, Matt Vandergriff, he's got a bright future ahead of him. So does Richie Slade. I mean, those two in the ring, there's going to be eyes on that match. I mean, I feel like people have kind of overlooked that match due to the rest of the card. But, I mean, I think that match will steal the show. And who knows, man? Like, the winner of that match, might be a future SoCal champion in GCF one day. You never know. I mean, this card's so heavy. Like, anybody on this card could be a champion.
What's a match that people looking at the card might not be super into, but it's going to... It's flying under the radar. What match?
It's gonna blow the roof off.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's gonna be great, but it's actually gonna get people standing and cheering.
I think people aren't ready for SoCal Crazy versus Chris Cadillac, man. This is a match that, and Chris Cadillac, another guy who's aligned with Joseph Saint in Divine Intervention. But the guy could go in the ring, and SoCal Crazy, he's a legend, out here in SoCal. He had a dope match last show against Phoenix Kid, and I think these two men, these two kind of just mirror each other, by just the style they wrestle, and they can be hard hitting, they can get you off the ropes. It could be a great back and forth match that I think people are kind of I think I'm real excited to see how that match pans out.
Absolutely.
And that match should be a match that will have everybody talking after it.
Chris Cadillac versus SoCal Crazy.
Yes, sir.
I like that. I like that matchup a lot. I always like to ask, people who are running a company, who's a guy you haven't had on the show that you would like to, get on any of your shows?
Oh man,
there's so many, talent out there. Just who comes to mind when you think I gotta have him at least once?
I would say Peter Avalon, man.
Hey, there you
Hey,
go.
PP.
Peter Avalon.
Pretty Peter.
I've watched him ever since I've started coming to indie shows, man, and he's also come a long way, man. I remember when he was North Fernham in TNA, man. So Peter Avalon, he's a great guy. He's a great wrestler. I'd love to have him on a show.
Absolutely.
When he's returning from his injury this month, so
okay.
There could be a chance to swoop him up for your next show.
He's definitely back on the radar. He's always been on the radar. He's been on that list of guys. I mean, because when booking a show, man, there's so many guys you just want to just be like, all right, let's have him. But obviously, they're wrestlers. They're traveling. Schedules vary, and some shows don't really call for for guys of that stature, like guys at that moment. But I would definitely love to have Peter Avalon on the show in the future.
There you go. That's something I want to point out that I like about your show is, whenever you go to a wrestling show, you always get congested with it's Saturday, there's 4 shows, where am I going? You guys are running next Sunday. It's a little different from everybody else. I think it's pretty cool. It gives everyone a chance to say, you know what? Ain't nothing else going on Sunday. Let me make the best of it, and let me go over here to Gold Coast.
Yeah, you're already dressed up for church, so just head on down.
You got the bully clothes on.
Miss that night service, man. Come to GCF. and I think it's a good cap to a real dope wrestling weekend. You got UEW the night before. You got GCW the night before, you got EWF on this Friday, So there's a lot of shows coming up this weekend, but we're the only one on March 3rd, man. And
yeah, you're doing that WWE Sunday special. Sunday special.
We're trying it out, man. The Sunday special, man. Maximum Carnage.
Hey, they got it right. There's no one compete with them unless it's football season.
Yeah.
So, but they're good now. They can run every Sunday. They'll be number one.
Bring back Sunday Night Heat for the time being.
Hey, there you go.
I like that. I like that. That's why you're the booker, man.
I try, man.
So something that I noticed in the flyer, I didn't catch the start time, the bell time. What can you expect the fans to come in?
Bell time is 6:15.
All right.
Doors are at 5:30. Might not be on that flyer, but it's out there now. 6:15 bell time, 5:30 doors. I would get here, as fast as you can, man. There's, we're expecting a packed house, man. Like, this is going to be a big show.
Yeah, definitely. For anyone who hasn't come to a show at the De La O Jiu-Jitsu Training Center, get here early. You want to be front row. Mm-hmm. Not that there really is a bad seat.
Oh, yeah, no.
In the venue.
You'd just rather be sitting than standing, trust me.
Rather be getting some, sweat on you, sweat and blood, tears.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah.
That's at 8136 Catella Avenue, Unit J in Stanton, California, guys. Don't forget it.
Good old Stanton.
Woo.
Now, RJ, there's been men, on the card you've had on multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
Which of those people who, a returning guy that you would like to see challenge for the championship, whoever that may be after Sunday, who's really earned it and, open your eyes to.
Oh, man.
We got to give him a shot. And if it's not someone, deserving, who would,
I would say past guys, Mikey O'Shea, man.
Absolutely.
Mikey O'Shea could definitely be the face of a company one day, man.
The Irish juggernaut.
The Irish Juggernaut.
What do you like
man,
about him? He's a big guy. He can't play video games well. What's going on? What do you see in this guy? You guys both like green or something? Is that the common interest? I'm sorry.
I mean, dude, he can go in the ring, man. He's
Okay.
paid his dues. He's earned the position he's in now. There's just a lot of opportunities in his future, man, and he does things the right way, man. You know, he's a real humble guy. You know, he doesn't beg for anything. He doesn't, you know, try to take shortcuts, and that's real commendable, man. You want to see a guy like that as your champion. You want to see a guy who interacts well with the fans, who's, you know, who will give you his all every time he steps to the ring, no matter who he's in the ring with, you know, no matter what type of match he's in, you know. You want a guy that will give 150% every time he steps to those ropes, and Mikey O'Shea is definitely that guy, and could be a definite, you know, a great representative of a company as their champion. And
Definitely. I think that's very well spoken. That's definitely Mikey O'Shea. You know, the troubles me and him have had, you know, when our paths have crossed, you know, I will give him every ounce of credit he deserves for his skills inside the ropes. He's a hell of a man. He's a better wrestler.
And I mean, I'll tell you this, you know, next Sunday, man, he's out for some vengeance, man. Last time we saw him at GCF, he faced off with Lord Atu, and you know, the ending of that match didn't go well. He was attacked by Divine Intervention, and he wasn't able to show up to the last show in November because of an attack by Divine Intervention. So he'll be here, Delo Jiu-Jitsu, next Sunday, and he'll be looking for Lord Atu and Divine Intervention, man. So I mean, if you know, if Lord Atu's out there watching this, man, I'd be looking both ways.
Yeah, he's gonna need his brothers with him.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
some protection.
I don't even think Di can stop Mikey O'Shea at this point, man. Like, he just has that look in his eye, man. Like, he's trying to get after Lord Atu, man.
Yeah,
And-
if he can get, you know, a good downhill start, there's no way you're stopping him. Real downhill runner.
Literally on a roll.
Get a good head start on him. I mean,
Hey, what's this I'm hearing about? The heavy hitters are going to be at Gold Coast Federation. Who they got going up against?
heavy hitters are back. We're facing Helmuth and Havoc.
Helmuth and Havoc. Okay.
Divine Intervention, Tony Reyes, Biggie Biggs. I mean, they're undefeated in GCF. Tony Reyes, you know, has been very adamant and very outspoken as they're the uncrowned GCF tag team champions. And next Sunday they have another test with, you know, Divine Intervention. And, you know, we'll see what happens. I mean, these are two hard-hitting tag teams, four big dudes in the ring. That's also another match where I think will pique the interest of the crowd, because I mean, who knows what's gonna happen? I mean, Tony's still got a lot of bad blood with Divine Intervention. You know, so I mean, and you know, Helmuth is just unpredictable. We all know.
Yeah,
We
he's
all
a
know,
crazy little
you know.
street gutter rat.
Hey,
Yeah, anytime
your
I've
words,
seen
not mine, man.
Divine Intervention, they have done nothing but cause trouble, and, you know, probably, you know, had to get some insurance cards, you know, shuffled around from the damage they cause anywhere they go. It's a wonder that, you know, people still want them on their shows. You know, are they better wrestlers than they are, you know, human beings? I think that's the case, obviously. They're not good people, but they're a hell of a wrestler.
They're-
Each one of them.
I mean, they're definitely entertaining.
Yeah.
I'll give them that. They're definitely entertaining. I mean, it's going to be a brawl. It's going to be a fight. I mean, everybody likes a good fight, and as long as Tony doesn't, you know, pull that cowbell out, I think Helmuth and Havoc will be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll have to wait and see about that. Talking more about some matches that we got going on. We got Goose and Uberstad versus the Party Captain. Guy, cool.
Oof.
That's going to be for the OCCW Heavyweight Championship, ladies and gentlemen.
That's gonna be epic, man. I'm excited, man. Gooston, one of my favorites. And you know, just watching him at OCCW and how far he's come, man, it's remarkable, dude. Like, I don't think anybody really expected him to be as over as he is, or to be champion, even that, you know. And
Well, he's not my champion, but he's the OCCW champion.
that's fair. I mean, you're like an Othello guy, right?
Yes.
He
never lost it.
I mean, he'll be back one day, maybe, hopefully.
He's never lost it.
I'd,
He just put it on hold.
I'm a Othello guy too, but
oh.
you know, Gusten Uberstud, I'll give him his 15 minutes. You know, with the title.
I mean, in all fairness, I mean, BA did have a chance to, keep it with Othello.
Yeah, and that's why I
BA
don't-
too. Yeah,
BA let me down, boy. I'll tell you that right now. It's hard when you put so much trust in your homie to keep the gold at home, and then he lets it slip to a fitness German guru. But more on that later.
but Gusten versus the Party Captain Guy Cool. That's a great match.
That's going to be a solid match. It's two, the party captain, he's an interesting guy, man. When I went to go, go see him down on some boat somewhere, it was an interesting night that legally I can't talk about.
I can assume.
Yeah.
When you hang out with the Party Captain, there's
dancing.
boats, there's hoes, there's boats and hoes.
Listen,
No, it's Step Brothers, right?
I am a taken man, so I can't speak on the activities that went down on that boat. But yeah, guy cool. He's all in. He's for it. He can't wait to get the opportunity and might have a new OCCW champion.
That'd be a nice little shakeup as we get into Heartbreak City.
That would OCCW would definitely be shaken if that happened. But I mean, Gusten, he's a great wrestler. He'll be ready to go. He's a fighting champion. And I don't think he has any intentions of losing that belt anytime soon. So it should be a good competitive contest. But, I mean, Guy Cool might have some tricks up his sleeve and on his arm. So we got to see. We got to see
who's
next
ever winning
Sunday.
that match, whoever walks out OCCW champion, I'm going to crack a cold one open with them.
There you go.
And, Party Captain Guy Cool, he'll probably already have, a few brews open.
Yeah,
So.
we might walk to the ring with some. We'll see.
It's always a party when he's around. Oh, I get the name now.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. That's
But-
Uberstud and Guy Cool next week.
Maximum Carnage sound like it's going to be a real party.
Oh man,
Even better.
It's
It's going to be a massacre.
It's gonna be real exciting, man. Yeah, it's gonna be a mix of everything, man. It's gonna be it's gonna be hard hitting. It's gonna be high flying. It's gonna be be a lot of just different elements to the show, man. I think it's gonna be like the show that finally gets GCF's name out there and going, and kind of amping up things in the OC.
Now, this is the fourth show. Am I correct?
it's the third show.
Third show?
Yeah,
Third show.
Third show.
Excuse me. How does it feel, after you got those first two, shows out of the way? It always seems, number three, it's either like the biggest, spectacle, like WrestleMania 3,
Yeah.
Andre and Hogan. And it's just, everything great comes in three. So, tell me what's going to make this show, better than those first two shows.
I think the planning for the show is a lot less stressful, but I mean, the pressure is on with this show because, you've shown that you can do the first two shows and, you want to keep topping, or,
Definitely.
getting better and progressing. So I feel like a lot of pressure is on this show, to me personally, that, this is like the make or break show for GCF, man. And I think we have the card and the guys who are, going to make people go like, wow, like I need to see what GCF is all about, And man, like this show, I think it's gonna get knocked out of the park, man. Like this show looks, I mean, just the card alone. I mean, I can't wait for it, man. Like I wish it was next Sunday already. Like it's gonna be a hell of a show, and I can't wait for everybody to see it, witness it. Get your tickets now. You have till Saturday, March 2nd to get your tickets online.
$10
$15 at the
online,
door.
$15
Yeah.
at the door.
Purplepass.com/GCF Carnage. Man, like top to bottom, man. This card, I don't see any dull match on this card, man. Like
Not at all.
Personally, I don't. I think it's just gonna be top notch action, and these guys want it, man. I think what sets us apart from any other promotion out here is a lot of these guys want the opportunity to show people what they got, man.
Mm-hmm.
And they're willing to leave it all in the ring and to put their company, to put a different company's title on the line, man. Like Uberstud and Phoenix Kid, putting other companies' titles on the line. I think these guys want to put on a show for the fans, and it's always good for SoCal and Orange County.
Get that proper representation
Yeah,
from everybody.
So it's gonna be a real good thing for the business. So I'm excited, man. I'm amped.
Okay, before I get into my next question, I just want to shout out to everybody on YouTube. We are now exclusively running our last 10 minutes on YouTube. Anybody who's reading this right now or watching this is a lucky son of a gun. You guys are in the comments. You guys are all getting free shirts. Don't tell anybody else about this until we got them ordered. You can brag to all your friends at the next show. But we got a few people getting new BullyZone shirts. I got the sizes all written down. Final questions as we get into our last little quarter of the show. So, planning a show gets stressful. It can be overwhelming, especially if you're newer in this game and you're trying to understand it. What are some things that you do to get your mind off if you need to recenter your chi? I know some people like to go to the beach. Some people like to get nude at the beach. Some people like to drink. What do you like to do to just recenter yourself when you get a little stressed out?
I've always been kind of a mellowed out dude, chilled out. But not much. Probably just hop on WWE 2K or just watch wrestling. I think wrestling has always kind of just been my muse for everything, creatively. Just sitting down, just being able to just kind of just tune everything out and just being
Enjoy
able
the
to,
program.
because even then, you still are learning about the product or learning more about the business the more you watch. Even if you don't watch the wrestling, even if you just watch documentaries, or if you just watch shoot interviews or something, I've even in my chill times, I kind of just it helps relax me when I'm not worrying or thinking about planning a show or dealing with wrestlers or anything. And listening to music, man.
Yeah.
Music's the automatic
probably,
de-stressor. Getting out, taking a walk, walking down, Ball Road. Just got the headphones in, listen to a nice podcast. Well, I got some Sonys.
It's all about beats. Shout out to Dre.
Get him on the show. Let's have a talk.
Right? Hey, Dre. There's somebody out there.
But I like what you said. Even if you're not watching backstage or whatever, you can always learn. By watching the product. Has there been anyone, whether it's been a video you watched that, gave you key advice, or was it someone you met backstage at one of your shows, or, just someone in the crowd at any of the shows you've been to? Because wrestling, there's, wrestlers go to other shows and, bookers go to other shows and just check everyone out. Have you gotten advice from anyone? Or is there any piece of advice you've taken from wrestling?
I think since we've been around, I've gotten a lot of advice from a lot of guys. I think a guy who's really two guys in particular have really helped me a lot have been Sean Black and Tony Reyes, man. Those two dudes have given me a lot of advice and have really helped me out as far as just getting acclimated to the business and what to expect and how to handle certain situations and everything. So it's always easy to kind of just hit those guys up.
Yeah.
And just be yo,
And
even John Dello, man. John Dello's been in my ear too, and has been pretty cool dude to talk to, and even talking to him about the business and his experiences, man. I think I've learned a lot from people's experiences in the business, and kind of taking that and was damn, okay, that's what they went through and that's what they experienced. Okay, So I've always been that type of person. That's how I've learned about certain things, and even in school, because I went to school for radio and journalism. So I learned about a lot of behind the scenes and most businesses. So I was kind of already in that mode already. So it was kind of easy to adjust to, but I'm still learning about the wrestling business every day.
Every day there's something to learn.
Every time I'm at a show, or every time I'm here watching training, or every show we have, it's always something new to learn, and it's a fun experience, man. I love the business, man. I've always wanted to be a part of the wrestling business in some capacity. and I'm blessed and glad I'm able to do it, man. So it's pretty gratifying because you come up and you watch all these wrestlers and you think they're all dicks and that they wouldn't help you because like you're just some mark that decides, oh, I want to start a wrestling company.
Yeah,
we had a history something like that too.
Yeah, like
something like that for us. Yeah.
So it's kind of weird trying to get a foot in the door because you don't think these dudes will respect you, but like if you come correct and be approachable and like at least know what you're talking about a little bit, these dudes are just as easy to talk to and get along with as anybody, and I think that's how I was able to get around and succeed so far. Is I kind of knew what I was talking about, and even if I didn't, I would ask questions or and I think that's what Tony and Sean and John have seen in me and my partners, that, we're not just some, wrestling fans trying to live a fantasy here. I mean, yeah, it's a dream to do this, but we obviously want to do this for the long run and create something big here, It's not just a one-off thing where, we're booking big names and then you don't hear from us for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
No, we want to create something and do something new and, bring wrestling to a place where it's not usually at,
definitely.
You don't have to travel to Reseda or to LA to go see an indie show. You can come right here, man.
Right here, yeah.
Or come down to 91, come down to 5, man. Like it's it's right here in our backyards, man, and it's a good thing. People are excited, and it's pretty cool to be able to create that. And even, when I'm backstage at shows, it's still kind of crazy to just be like, damn, I'm here. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Like,
yeah, I get that too.
Like it's still like
we've been going to shows doing photography, and every show I go to, it's like, man, I'm doing what I want to do.
And I'm almost certain I'm going to do like a lot more of that next Sunday. Like even at my own show, I'm just gonna be like, wow, like this is happening. It's breathtaking, man. It's all inspiring. Like, cause you never know for sure you're gonna be able to live out your dreams. No matter how hard you chase after it, but when it's starting to happen and starting, fulfill, you're just like, yo, like.
Yeah, it's like, yo, this is awesome.
So it's cool. So major shout out to those 3 dudes, man. They've helped me out a lot.
And I'll give a shout out to those guys as well because they've definitely sat down with me and given me some heartfelt advice in progressing and moving forward and navigating through the waters of the business. So shout out to Tony Ray, Sean Black, and Johnny Boy. There's my one for today.
Shout out to Just Stroll and he's keeping the lights on. Thank you for joining us, RJ. Just give them a quick reminder of what's happening this Sunday. We got a few minutes left.
Next Sunday, GCF presents Maximum Carnage, Delo Jiu-Jitsu. Bell time 6:15. Doors are at 5:30. PurplePass.com/GCF Carnage. Watch Danny Limelight potentially lose his title to Andy Brown. SoCal Crazy, Divine Intervention, Mikey O'Shea, the heavy hitters. It's going to be a real packed show, real stacked card. Hottest ticket in Orange County. BullyZone will probably be there, hopefully.
Oh, yeah. We're slated to go.
So, I mean.
We're going to be here doing our podcast already, so.
Oh, well, yeah man. Come on down, guys.
Next week, guys. Don't be miscouraged. Episode 7 still going to take place here at the De La Jiu-Jitsu Center at the top floor, 3 p.m. It's going to be fun times. Who knows? We'll probably be pulling some superstars up here, having some words with them before the show. You don't want to miss this one, ladies and gentlemen. Man. But thanks again for coming on the show today.
Thank
really
you guys for having me, guys. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you, RJ. Let them know where they can find you on social media.
On social media, I'm at Jamal Cinco Udo. But on GCF social media, it's at Gold Coast Federation on Instagram, Gold Coast Federation Official on Facebook, and on Twitter, it's GCW Anaheim. And our YouTube channel is Gold Coast Federation Official as well.
Right on. Oscars tonight. You got a pick for Best Picture?
Not Black Panther. I knew people were going to say that. I love Black Panther, but I don't think Black Panther will win. So let's. I mean, there are a lot of good movies out there, so I'm excited to see who wins.
Yeah, well, I'll keep an eye on it, but it's not wrestling, so I'm not too too glued to it.
I didn't even watch the Grammys, so
Yeah, me neither. They got 21 before, so his performance was canceled. I tuned out.
You know.
But
That's it.
Again, my man right here, RJ Wallace with Gold Coast Federation, Maximum Carnage this Sunday at the De La O Jiu-Jitsu Training Center. You don't want to miss this show. It's gonna be a packed house with a spectacular card. So we're signing out. I'm Austin Largo.
And it's your boy Lance Winners, baby.
And we'll see you next week.